From America, you're listening to the Hip Hop Patriot, Jeremy Herrell.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It is time, or as I like to say, it's time. It is live at 5. We are live from America. I am your ever so humble, ever so grateful, ever so God-fearing host, Jeremy Herrell, the hip hop patriot, and nothing pleases me more, Monday through Friday, than to be able to come live with you guys twice a day, 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. We got people watching from Italy. We got people watching from Australia. Let's get into some live shout outs for those who are watching live and for those who watch or listen to the podcast throughout the evening and tomorrow and throughout the weekend. I want to thank you guys so much. We got Karen Ortowski. She says Texas in the house. Gina Kirkland, shout out from Clarksville, Tennessee. Love Tennessee. Gerald Mathis, how you doing? It's good to see you, buddy. We got Mona and Carrie Lee from Michigan saying surviving Governor Whitless. Governor Whitless. I didn't have a nickname, but that's a great nickname for Governor Whitmer. Governor Whitless. I like it. I'm going to steal it if it's okay. Trinette Mitchell from the state of Texas. How you doing? We got we got some stuff to talk about Texas tonight, so you'll be happy about that. Donna L. Michelle McKinney. We got Karen Visca from Connecticut. Who's finally opening back up, it looks like. Sheila Sereno says she's from Italy. She's been watching for quite some time now, so thank you, Sheila. We appreciate you. We who else do we have? We have Southern Boy says showtime, and that's exactly right, baby. It is showtime. Grace Ramirez from Connecticut as well. We got Alicia Wida in the building. How you doing? Live at 5 on this beautiful Friday. You're exactly right. Joe Renaud, Florida in the house, he says. Brian Hoover, PA in the house. Lori Latterer, she says, when was the New York Trump rally? Well, that was today. Right Side Broadcasting was covering it, and it was like a flag rally, flag wave, flag march. But they had Antifa and BLM. Sharon Merriman says, shout out for my birthday. It's tomorrow. We know what to do, folks. First of all, hit that thumbs up. And let's happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sharon. Happy birthday to you. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I do want to give a couple special shout outs because I was reading through the comments from earlier, from the show earlier, and I seen that Simply Ronnie said, I never get a shout out. Can I please get one? Well, there you go. And Dolores Renteria, you also get a shout out. And it looks like somebody else says, please shout out Shelly Rains. You get a shout out too. So thank you guys very much for joining in today. I appreciate it. I also want to show you before we get to giving our honor to God and before we get to the show, I want to also say thank you to Ken and Kathy Goodwin for sending me this homemade card. It's really beautiful right here. It says, thank you, Jeremy and your family. Love your hip hop patriot show. And then they were nice enough to say stuff like, God bless you for all your work that you've put into this, and thank your wife as well. I'm sure she's a big part of this, in capital letters. May the Lord Jesus Christ place angels as a hedge of protection all around you and your family, and your possessions, and your protection against the enemies you all may face, you all will have to face in the future. And so, Kathy, thank you very, very much from Reno, Nevada. It is awesome for you guys to send me such wonderful gifts, and I love opening them. I love seeing what comes in the mail. It's like I'm like a kid on Christmas. You know what I mean? And also, if you have not yet, and you have a small business, or you have a friend who has a small business, small to medium, American-made products, or at least American business, some kind of service whatsoever, send it to me at Jeremy at jeremyherrell.com with the caption in capital letters, American business to promote or American small business. I'm going to need where it is, what it is, and some kind of link for people to get to. and we will get that on the directory when the new site comes up. And it seems like we have started something huge here, because I just found out today that Right Side Broadcasting has now decided to do the same thing. So isn't that wonderful how God works, ladies and gentlemen? Creating a way and creating a tool for all of us to work together to build as conservatives, as Americans, as patriots, and for the most part, Christians. You know what I mean? So thank you guys very, very much. All right, let's give our honor, our love, our attention, our worship, everything. Let's give our entire being to God Almighty before anything, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into the show, we ask God that He protect this show in an armor of God, protect this message, protect the word, protect you folks, and everything that we're doing in an armor of God, so that we can fight back the evil and fight back the censorship of this world, so that we can get the one true thing that we all desperately, desperately want, and that is the truth. The truth. So today, reading from Jesus Calling, March 5th, year of our Lord, 2021, it says, there are a variety of wrong ways to handle difficulties. Some people simply pretend they don't exist, like ostriches hiding their heads in the sand. You, however, tend to go to the other extreme, focusing on problems much more than necessary. I am training you to pry your mind away from the trouble so you can fix your thoughts on me. And then that references Psalm 145:18, which says, the Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth. And it also references Ephesians 2:14 that says, for he himself is our peace. So before you turn out the lights tonight, persevere in directing your wayward thoughts toward me, and me is your peace. And me is your peace. Amen. Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do the Lord's Prayer, and then we'll get busy. I know some people don't like the Lord's Prayer, but that's what we do here on Live from America. And I've been asked to take my hat off during the Lord's Prayer. The reason why I don't is because it's probably always a ragtop up there. But our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Amen. And if you want this hat right here, it's the Hip Hop Patriot Party. It's got a lion right here. You can, for right now anyway, you can go to Etsy and go to Kind Embroidery and request that she has this hat. She also has NBA T hats that says, never bet against Trump. Okay? And we're going to be doing a deal with her as well to promote small business. So big shout out to you, and you know who I'm talking about. All right, guys, let's get to it. First and foremost, Greg Abbott. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas. Doing big things, guys. Doing big things. He basically said to Florida, so Florida said, we're going to start fining big tech for every day that they censor or suspend or take away candidates for elected office, their social media page. $100,000 a day, okay? Texas basically said, I'll see you that $100,000 a day fine, and I'll raise you, making it illegal in our state to censor anybody as long as they're not doing anything wrong or literally breaking the law. You're not going to censor anybody's ideas or freedom of speech. Texas basically tells Florida to hold my beer. Hold my beer, Florida. And this is actually wonderful. And where did we get this blueprint? We got this blueprint, ladies and gentlemen, from other countries. We watched Australia. We watched many other countries fight these big tech social media companies into submission, to where these big tech social media companies basically said, oh, you know what? You win. Let's work out a deal. That was where our blueprint came from. Our blueprint for this came from other countries. So what a wonderful thing that's happening, guys. I'm super pumped. I am super pumped to see more of this. And what you're not seeing, guys, is you're not seeing all of these states individually stand up. They're never going to tell you about this on the news. It's up to people like me and up to people like you to go and find this kind of stuff out. Nicole Williams says, what's your studio address? Nicole, get on Telegram, message me there, or email me. I'm getting pretty caught up on emails, so you know what I mean? I'm starting to manage my time a little bit better, all right? But states, ladies and gentlemen, are doing good things. They are doing good things when it comes to transgender in high school sports. They're doing good things when it comes to unconstitutional executive orders by President Biden. They're doing good things when it comes to fighting big tech. Catherine Tarbett says, I want a shout out. Well, there you go. They're doing good things when it comes to holding this whacked out government that we have now and these whacked out social media big tech companies accountable. So big shout out to Governor Abbott, and let's see more states do follow this blueprint and do exactly what Governor Abbott is doing. Okay, that's a blueprint. And let's face it, since we got it from other countries, aren't states basically just tiny countries in their own? Isn't that basically what they are? So keep on your Congress people, keep on your senators, make sure that we continue to hold people accountable. And this is how we get around Section 230, guys. This is exactly how we get around Section 230. We do it state by state. And I've been telling you, the states have more power than the federal government ever dreamed of having. Kayla says, call your senators. That's exactly right. Keep on them. Call them every day. Make it part of your day. Well, I got to call my senator again today. Nope, I got to call my senator again today. So, shout out Texas. 2 big bills I want to talk about. And no, we're not going to talk about H.R. 1 tonight. There's been plenty to talk about as it pertains to H.R. 1. But H.R. 1, and in my opinion, has no chance. No chance. As much as we want to know what's in it, and as much as we've been talking about it, we can, at least take comfort in the fact that it has no chance. There's never going to get 60 votes for that. It's not a majority vote bill. It's changing law, so it takes more than that. So the 2 big bills I want to talk about today are the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill, and I want to talk about the $15 minimum wage bill. The first one, the stimulus bill, we're not going to be able to stop it. It's going through. It's going through. It's going to go through, and we're not going to be able to stop it. There's nothing that Republicans can do. This is a majority vote bill, and Kamala Harris strutted her, whatever you want to call it, over there, and she's going to be the deciding factor. She's going to be the vote because it's 50-50. She'll be 51. The $1.9 trillion stimulus bill is going through. The only hope that we can have is somebody like Kristen Sinema or Joe Manchin saying no, which I doubt that's going to happen. Looks like they got the votes. There's another $2 trillion on our children. There's another $2 trillion that we're on the hook for. And really, ladies and gentlemen, there's another $2 trillion that this country cannot really afford to do right now. Right now, as it stands, every man, woman, and child in this country is on the hook for over $80,000 of debt. $80,000 of debt. Now, what that means as a country is that our debt is over 20% of our GDP. If you don't know what GDP is, it's basically our budget for the year. It's our gross domestic product. It's what there's no country in the world that can survive their debt climbing close to their GDP. Now, get this, France is 120% of their GDP. No country's ever come back from that. And COVID caused this. But guess who's doing good? China. China's doing well. China's doing amazing when it comes to their economy. And also get this, even though Donald Trump was sanctioning the heck out of China, and even though he was putting the boots to them left and right and trying to get us independent from China, we are actually more dependent on them today than ever. Through COVID, our dependency went up 35% on China through COVID. So they've been banking, ladies and gentlemen. They've been banking, and what they're doing is they're trying to basically they're not trying to take America down by bombs and guns anymore. They're trying to take America down by being the leader of the world with data and quick internet speed and what do you want to call it? Not virtual reality, but You know, the same thing that took over the Terminators and all that. I can't even think of it on the end of my tongue. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take us over that way, and they know that if we continue AI, my fault. So they're trying to take us over that way, and they know if we continue to borrow, we're just basically gonna borrow ourselves into oblivion. Borrow ourselves into oblivion. So $1.9 trillion more, and that's going through. There's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. Sucks, just is the way it is. So the good news is the other bill, and this is actually big because the other bill did not pass the Senate, and the other bill was the $15 minimum wage. Now, the good thing about this is 8 Democrats split. They actually split for the first time in I don't know how long, and they voted against party lines. If you haven't liked the video yet, by the way, 2,500 of you watching, please like the video. Let's get those likes up. And if you can, share it over to Facebook and others because we really want to get the audience up to about 3,500 people watching at one time. So the other bill, they split. The Democrats split, and 8 of them split. Who are the 8 that split? Well, I'm going to read them to you right now. Joe Manchin of West Virginia. John Tester of Minnesota. Montana, I'm sorry. Gene Shaheen from New Hampshire, my state. Maggie Hassan, also from New Hampshire, my state. I've been calling them. You know what I mean? Angus King from Maine. Kirsten Simina from Arizona. Tom Carper from Delaware. And Chris Coons from Delaware. So, 8 Democrats split from their normal, zombie voting, and that's a good thing. And the $15 federal minimum wage thing will not happen. That's a good thing because all that's going to do is get passed down to you. It's going to get passed down to me. It's going to get passed down to the consumer. No small business will be able to hire anybody, which means they're going to go out of business. And it's no good for anybody. Young kids don't get jobs because nobody's hiring, right, John Verisco? You see what I'm saying? None of it works. $15 minimum wage an hour doesn't work. Okay? So, would you consider news bar at the bottom of your screen? Yes, that is coming next week. I had to get my new computer. This computer could not handle it. It just had too much latency. And it was just buffering every time I tested it. So yes, that'll be coming next week. All right. President Trump slams Joe Biden in a statement that he puts out about the border. Now, there's mixed feelings on this. I'm just going to tell you. I have my ear to the ground just like you guys do. And I know that there's a lot of people who are mad at President Trump right now. I know that some of you, even though you'll vote for him again and you are behind him in every way, shape, or form, you're going to call it out when you're angry. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you're a traitor. It doesn't mean that you're going against the grain. It doesn't mean that you're letting us all down. It doesn't mean any of that. It means that you're mad at something that President Trump did. And I get it 100%. But I do want to remind you all that who are mad at President Trump for leaving and not standing up. A lot of you think that he didn't have the courage to stand up and not leave. We don't know the circumstances around that. We really don't. I'm not mad at the guy at all, man. That guy fought day in and day out, every hour, every minute of every day for us. So I'm not mad at it at all. I'm mad at the situation, and I'm mad at the big government that we've allowed to take over in the last 6 decades. I'm mad at that. I'm extremely upset at that. But I know there's a lot of people who are mad at President Trump. But let me remind you this. You guys have all lived, probably as long as I have. Most of you probably are 40 and older. How many things in your past can you look back at and that you were mad when something was happening, but then you look back on it a year later or 2 years later or 10 years later and you go, you know what? That was actually a good thing because if that didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened. And if this wouldn't have happened, maybe I wouldn't have met my wife. And if that wouldn't have happened, maybe I wouldn't have had children with this person. If this would have happened, maybe I would be in war. If that would have happened, maybe I wouldn't have got this job. What we have to understand, guys, is everything that's going to happen in between his terms is probably what we need. Actually, I'm going to tell you as a believer and follower of Christ, it is exactly what we need because we wouldn't be here if there wasn't a reason. And I'll be the first one to remind you and tell you that 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, whenever it is, we'll look back on this and we will say, that's why it had to happen. And it's just hard to live in right now. It's hard to live in right now. John Smith said he's 29. Right on, man. I remember 29. So anyway, I'm going to read the statement to you so you understand how harsh he was on Joe Biden. He says, our border is now totally out of control thanks to the disastrous leadership of Joe Biden. Our great Border Patrol and ICE agents have been disrespected, demeaned, and mocked by the Biden administration. A mass incursion into the country by people who should not be here is happening on an hourly basis, getting worse by the minute. Many have criminal records, and many others are spreading COVID. Interior enforcement has been shut down. Criminals that were once promptly removed by our administration are now being released back into the street to commit heinous and violent crimes. ICE officers are desperate to remove these convicted criminals, but Biden won't let them. The spiraling tsunami at the border is overwhelming local communities, depleting budgets, crowding hospitals, and taking jobs from legal American workers. When I left office, we had achieved the most secure border in our country's history. Under Biden, it will soon be worse, more dangerous, and more out of control than ever before. He has violated his oath of office to uphold our Constitution and enforce our laws. There has never been a time in our southern border like what is happening now, but more importantly, what is about to happen. Now that Biden has implemented nationwide catch and release, illegal immigrants from every corner of the earth will descend upon our border and never be returned. You can never have a secure border unless people who cross illegally are promptly removed. I had a great relationship with Mexico and its wonderful president, but all of that has been dissipated by the gross incompetence and radicalism of the people currently in charge. The Remain in Mexico policy was incredible, but immediately abandoned by Biden, probably because it worked so well. Likewise, our Safe Third agreements in Central America were extraordinarily successful, so Biden foolishly ditched them too. We stopped payment of the hundreds of millions of dollars paid to them and then developed an excellent relationship that made our country and their countries more secure. We put in place powerful rules and procedures to stop smuggling and trafficking, but the Biden administration has abandoned these proven strategies and instead given the smugglers and traffickers effective control of our border. That was from your president, President Donald J. Trump. And what I like about this is he never, ever refers to Biden as president, and neither do I, and neither will I. Now, had he won? 100%. Had he won, in my opinion? 100%. Be a little butthurt, but I'd give him the title, that he earned. He didn't earn the title. You don't get to be called something if you didn't earn it. This isn't your participation trophy. You don't get to be a participation president. That might be a new shirt. Resident Biden, a participation president. But that's what it is. Let's call a spade here. He's a participation president. He's not a president who earned it. He didn't earn the win. He just got given the title. So I'll never call him that. The other thing is President Trump is right here, guys. He's 100% right. There has never been a crisis like there is right now on that border. Biden and his administration and the puppets that puppet this poor old man, who I'm not giving a pass to, by the way, when I say that. I'm saying that because of the cognitive decline that he can't help. I mean, he's just an idiot anyways, but that made it worse. What they've caused is a criminal enterprise. It's literally a criminal enterprise. Down there on the border right now, every single person who comes across that border illegally has COVID and comes in illegally. There's a felony every 5 seconds. All because of Biden. And you want to know something else? They don't care that they're causing harm to America. Even if these people were coming across the border, didn't vote at all, they would still do it. Why? Because President Trump said walls are good. So to them, walls are bad. President Trump said to be energy independent is good. So what do? Damn the American people. The American people be damned. President Trump likes it. Let's get rid of energy independent. Our independent. Now we're completely dependent on buying oil again. President Trump should say he likes air. Maybe he should say he likes air. So then maybe they'll hold their breath for the next 24 hours. I don't know. Unreal, man. Unreal. It's all because Orange Man bad. That's it. And I know this for a fact because I've literally talked to people who are on the left who say, I don't care what Biden does as long as Trump's not there tweeting at 2 a.m. They truly, truly don't care what happens. Like I said, the American people be damned. Somebody said research Trump on Air Force One 2 days ago. Other than people posting that same picture going around, I did try to look into it. I did. And I would have thought that Monkey Works would be talking about it as well. So whether he was on it or whether he wasn't on it, I don't know. But there's a new Air Force One anyway now, isn't there? Isn't the new one that already in place that President Trump secured the funding for? So I really don't know on that. I got to be honest with you. I looked into it, but I don't know. Somebody says, I love to hear you slurp. You mean my coffee? I'm human, man. So, like I said, it has nothing to do with wanting to secure our border or not wanting to secure our border. It has everything to do with Orange Man bad. It's just the way it is. All right. West Virginia Governor Jim Justice announced that bars, restaurants, small businesses, retail stores, gyms, and museums can now open to 100% capacity. Well, thank you. Thank you, even though you never had the right to stop it anyway. But again, I digress. We got to make sure that we're happy with what we do get. We're happy with our wins. So if you live in the state of West Virginia, you now can open up 100% capacity. Okay? Now, there are still businesses and there are still city mayors who are complete leftists who will go against that opening and that freedom, and they will still make you wear your masky pad. So what I see happening in the near future, ladies and gentlemen, this is number one. This is the first step, right? Say that everybody can open back up. Texas, Missouri, Florida, everybody's saying you can just open right back up, right? But you're going to have people like in Florida where there's no mask mandate. Orlando, you still have to wear a mask everywhere you go. So there's going to be these liberal, left-wing, progressive, Democrats who continue to still want you to mask up because it's all about control. And anything that somebody on the right says, we can't let that happen. So what I see happening in the near future is that red state governors are going to sign executive orders saying that you do not have the right to make a healthy person wear a mask. Meaning that if you are open for business to the public, you cannot discriminate who you sell to. Now, the people on the left will say, well, it's just like the no shirt, no shoes, no service rule. No, you don't breathe through your feet, dum-dum. You don't breathe through your feet. You don't breathe through your belly, okay? You don't breathe through your armpit. You breathe through your mouth. You talk with your mouth. There's many other reasons that we don't want to wear masky pads, okay? Long story short, I see that happening in the very, very near future, meaning that red state governors will end up for their second or third phase of opening, sign executive orders if they know that left-wing city mayors and businesses continue to stifle people and want them to mask up. You're going to see them say, as long as you're open for business, you cannot discriminate against people. Because that is discrimination. It would be like if you came in and I didn't sell to you because you were short, or I didn't sell to you because I didn't like your hairstyle, or because you had, ponytail instead of straight hair, or you have green eyes. I'm not selling to you. You know what I mean? Or the way you dress. I don't like the way you dress, so I'm not selling to you. You can't do that stuff. And you're not going to continue to make healthy people punish them basically for being healthy. It's so stupid. It's so backwards. Everything up is down. Everything left is right. Everything's backwards. Thanks a lot, left. Speaking of that, Arizona has also announced businesses can reopen to 100% capacity. So Arizona's made a lot of news this week, but being able to open to 100% capacity is a good thing. Now, the reason why I love doing this, guys, is because a lot of you are so busy throughout the day. You live in some of these states and you don't even know some of the stuff is going on. And you're not going to be able to get this kind of news on the mainstream media. And the only way you would get this kind of news on the mainstream media is if the mainstream media had some type of narrative that they would want to attack, like they did Texas all at one time. Somebody said, sell the sunglasses. You're getting that. You're actually getting that. We're going to sell hats and sunglasses as a pair on the website in a week, maybe 2 weeks, tops. Okay? So, but you're not going to get it. So a lot of people go, well, I live in a state and I didn't hear anything about that. Well, that's why we do this show. That's why I do this show. That's why I scour everywhere for information all day from any state that I can, from small organizations, so that I can find out what's happening in your states so I can help you guys out. Okay? So shout out Arizona. Also, guys, I want to give you this right now. In the about section of this YouTube page, there's a lot of links for you to follow me. If you go to jeremyherrell.com, all my links of where I am, you can click and follow me. But I do want to let you know right now that I'm on Rumble at the Hip Hop Patriot. The public channel on Rumble is Live from America. On Telegram, Live from America, all capital letters. On Parler, Hip Hop Patriot. Yes, I'm on TikTok at the Hip Hop Patriot. And Instagram at Jeremy R. Herrell, and at the new one, Freedom Fan, at Live from America. And you can also get Freedom Fan now on Android, not on Apple yet, and you can still get it on desktop as well. Desktop is the only place where you can utilize the music box and create playlists that you can listen to while you, travel around the internet. But the app, you can't do the music box yet. Everything is still in its infant stage. Go over there, download it, help them out, help them grow, and sooner or later, who knows? Maybe they'll be the new wave of the future. That's what I hope, and I post there every day. Wyoming State Legislator Chuck Gray. I don't know who he is, so I started to do a little bit of research on Chuck Gray. If you live in the state of Wyoming, maybe you know who he is. But Chuck Gray is a state legislator there, and he has announced that he is going to challenge Liz Cheney for her Senate seat in the upcoming state primary election. He says, quote, Wyoming agrees with President Trump that it's time to get rid of Liz Cheney. I agree with that. Now, here's something else that's cool, all right? Catalina Lauf, the young, amazingly smart, energetic, determined, beautiful, awesome, name it, she is. Catalina Lauf from Illinois, who's going to be going against Adam Kinzinger. That guy. We're talking about rhino. He's not even a rhino. He is a swamp donkey, ladies and gentlemen. She went to Mar-a-Lago, and she's meeting with President Trump because President Trump is going to get behind young, energetic, powerful, charismatic, America First candidates. Okay? And Catalina Lauf is going to take Kinzinger out. She is going to stomp him when it comes to the next election. And I'll tell you what about Catalina Lauf too. President Trump is going to make her a star. She'll be a star in the making on her own. But I can tell you what, to have President Trump back you and to have him groom you, she's already worked for the Trump campaign before. She worked for the Trump campaign in 2016, 2017. Maybe it was actually 2017, 2018. But she worked for the Trump campaign for a while. So she understands how to do it, guys. She understands how to do it. So it's going to be really nice to see President Trump groom her and bring her into the next level. And I just can't wait. I just can't wait. Also, Kayleigh McEnany, if you know, where everybody's trying to build this debate up, and I'm ready for it. I want to see Kayleigh McEnany ask Jen Psaki, pretend to be press secretary Jen Psaki, circle back Psaki. I want to see Kayleigh McEnany interview her on Fox. And I want to see them go back and forth. And they're trying to set the tone for this. I knew this from the very beginning they were going to do this. And Kayleigh McEnany came on, and she said about Jen Psaki always having to circle back. She goes, at least I always knew where my boss stood. At least I knew what he wanted. At least I knew his agenda, and at least I knew where my boss stood when she was asked why Jen Psaki has to circle back all the time. I can't wait for that. Let's get ready to rumble. That's going to be amazing. And it will happen. You don't think that TV executives aren't going to make that happen? The only way that won't happen is if Jen Psaki chickens out. I'll tell you what, if she chickens out, everybody on the internet needs to make a meme of a chicken with Jen Psaki's head on it. Okay? Because that's exactly what's going to happen. Here's some not so good news, and here's who gets the Dumb Award of the day. Dumb. Amy Coney Barrett. Who would have thought, right? Amy Coney Barrett. Justice, I guess we got to call her now. Amy Coney Barrett. You get the Dumb Award of the day. And not because you've refused to see any election fraud. Not because you've refused to follow the Constitution. But because you have her... Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? In her first case where she gave her opinion on, her judgment on, she gave us another death blow, ladies and gentlemen. People who love the Constitution, people who love this country, she gave us another death blow. And what she did is she limited our right and limited our ability to get documents through the FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act. She has voted, and it was like a 7-2 vote. So she voted right along with the rest of them, the bad ones again. She has voted to limit what you, what me, what Jay Sekulow, what attorneys, Ivan Raiklin, anybody. She has voted to limit what you can get from now on through the Freedom of Information Act. Basically saying that too much information to the American people is not good. So here she goes again. She's been such a disappointment. I had such high hopes for her. The Freedom of Information Act is literally our right. It is our right to be able to collect the documents that we have a freedom to request. And she has voted to make it harder to request those documents that is our right to begin with. How could she be such a disappointment? And you know what? I got to be honest with you. I feel the same kick in the stomach, almost, that I felt with Mike Pence, with Amy Coney Barrett. And same thing with Kavanaugh. I don't know what happened to these people. I don't know if I literally, truly do not know what happened with these people. But they're a joke. And hey, only God will judge. Only God will judge. Some good news, though, to end out the show tonight. Oklahoma House has passed a bill that would prohibit closing places of worship in an impressive 80-18 vote. So the good thing about that, guys, is that when this kind of stuff comes around again, in a lot of states, you're not going to be able to close churches any longer. And again, never should have happened in the first place. It never should have happened in the first place, but we got to say it. We'll take our wins when we can get them. So good job, Oklahoma, for passing that bill, because that is a very important thing for us to have as children of God, is to be able to worship and worship when and where we want. I do want to read to you something, though, and that is the mask mandate states. Now, this might have changed because this is about 2 days old. And I wanted to read this to you yesterday, but I'm going to read it to you now. States without a mask mandate. I'm going to read you all these states, and I want you to think while I'm reading this, I want you to think very closely what all these states have in common. And while you're at it, if you haven't liked the video yet, because we got about 3,000 people watching, please like the video. And make sure when we're done, you share it on your Facebook page. Here we go. Ready? There's 16 of them here. Alaska, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Mississippi, Missouri, Texas, Tennessee, South Dakota, South Carolina, Oklahoma, North Dakota, Nebraska, Montana. What do these 16 states that I just read all have in common? What's the reoccurring theme here? And I'm looking in the comments, and you guys all got it right. They're all Republican governors. These are the states that do not have mask mandates, at least as 2 days ago. What does that tell you? This entire COVID thing has been nothing but a political theater to gain power, to shift money, to shift wealth, to destroy small businesses, to have control, to ruin children's futures, to take away from you and give to them. Not rob from the rich and give to the poor. Rob from the poor so they can take more. That, guys. Somebody said New Hampshire is blue. Well, not technically. New Hampshire's actually red, but there's mask mandate there. So I guess you could say it is blue, isn't it? Governor Sununu. Oh. But here's the bad thing about New Hampshire, too, and Governor Sununu, is we're a tiny state surrounded by nothing but blue. Vermont, New York, Maine, Canada, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. I'm like stuck in the middle of hell, to be honest with you. I mean, not really, but you know what I mean. Hey guys, check out the new Armor of God shirts on jeremyherrell.com. You can get them in tons of different colors. You can get them in long sleeve. You can get them in hoodies. You can get them in sweatshirts without hoodies. Don't go anywhere without your Armor of God gear on. Make sure you download freedom.fan if you haven't yet, or check it out on the desktop. Thank you guys so very much. Make sure you go sign up for the Revolution newsletter on jeremyherrell.com so that you can get all the morning stuff every day, Monday through Friday, when it comes to the word and to spread some smiles and to spread some positivity. And also, you're going to start getting some more things on there as well. I'm working towards that. Okay. New computer comes tomorrow. Show will look quite different next week. I'm sure of it. And remember, guys, there are right ways, there are wrong ways, but there's only one Yahweh. So stand up tall, keep your shoulders back, keep your chest out and your head up high, because you are a child of God, and no weapon formed against you will ever prosper. This is the weekend. I don't do anything on the weekends but post on Telegram and Freedom and Parler and everywhere else, but I don't do live videos. So I will see you Monday for more Live from America at the same time, same place, 11 and 5, and hopefully we'll have hopefully you guys will have a great weekend. I hope you guys have a great weekend with your families. I hope you have a blessed weekend with your friends, with your coworkers. And remember, guys, just give everything over to Jesus. Give everything over to Jesus. Honor God on the Sabbath and honor Jesus on Sunday. All right? God bless, ladies and gentlemen. See you later.